G'day folks. So I rewatched the 1997 film The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin after hearing Steven Crowder mention that it's his favorite movie of all time. And you know what? I forgot how damn good this movie really was. Now, I haven't seen it for many years. I do remember seeing it at the cinema as a child. I was only probably about 11 years old, and it left a real impact on me then. I do remember the bear scene that always stood out to me, the bear attack scene at night, and that gave me nightmares. It was terrifying, so well shot. And then must have watched it several years after that, but then I haven't seen it for at least 10 years, at least, maybe more. I just forgot what a great survival drama it was, and a character study too. I mean, the acting was amazing from Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins, and the dialogue was fantastic. The sort of action set pieces, survival action, that is, where they were running from the bear or crossing the river, even the plane crash scene, they were all shot so well, and it was just so well done. I mean, I'll put it up there with some of the best survival films I've ever seen. I put it up there with The Grey, and I put it up there with The Revenant too. And I loved those two movies. And this movie's right up there. And just, I forgot how great it was as a character study too. Watching how these men reacted to the situation they were in. How Anthony Hopkins became totally resourceful and rational and tried not to let emotion get in his way. And how the other two kept swinging wildly from these emotions. They just couldn't keep their emotions in check. They'd be happy, determined, scared, sad, hopeless. And Anthony Hopkins had to sort of rein them all in. The other thing that I found quite moving in it was what a moral man he turned out to be. Everyone was shitting on him, and movies tend to portray rich people, especially really rich billionaires, as evil, heartless, and all that. But Anthony Hopkins wasn't heartless at all. And everyone was out to get him. He couldn't trust anybody, and yet he never had malice towards anybody. He constantly saved the life of Alec Baldwin, even when Alec Baldwin tried to kill him. That's very virtuous and very righteous. And he proved to be a very good man. And also, I felt very sorry for Henry Perrineau's character. I think his name was Stephen. And Anthony Hopkins showed a lot of compassion towards him. I mean, he really tried to save him and almost lost his life doing it as well. And you could see how hurt he was that Steve, who I think he considered his friend by the time Steve was killed, you could see how hurt he was that Steve was killed. He didn't want to let him go. And like I said before, he even tried to save the life of Alec Baldwin, who just moments earlier had tried to murder him in cold blood, take his wife and his money. And just such a good man, portrayed as such a good character, a man of moral virtue, and you don't see that often in movies nowadays. And when you do, it's done in a very sort of cartoonish way. But in this movie, it felt real. It was just done so well. And you just saw him thrive in the wilderness, even though he was a billionaire who'd never been out in the wild. And he was a genius of a man who had all these skills. And I feel like he probably felt useless having all this information. And he felt unfulfilled having all this knowledge and never being able to apply it. And then finally he was given the opportunity to do that. And I think it ended up, by the end, even though it almost killed him and killed his friends, I think it fulfilled him in the end. I think he was a fulfilled man at the end of the movie. A man who finally was able to be of use the way he wanted to be, instead of just throwing money out at people, even though he probably helped a lot of people that way. He actually, and even though he said his friends died saving his life, he really saved their lives. Even though they didn't make it, he was willing to give his life for theirs. And that's what saved his life. I think the fact that he was able to be the selfless person that he truly was inside, but he just never had the opportunity to act it out. So I don't want to go too deep into the character study. I mean, overlooking the fact that there was an amazing giant bloody bear in this movie that was so threatening and shot in such a great way that, oh, it was terrifying. I would say it's the most terrifying bear I've ever seen in a film, even more than the one in The Revenant. So the one in The Revenant doesn't stalk him for half the movie. It's only in the film for like 5 minutes. In this movie, you feel the presence of that bear stalking them. And it's hot on their tails. And at any moment, it could just appear silently, like a silent assassin. It was just done so well, so menacing. You could sort of feel his presence looming over the entire film once they encountered him that first time. And I love the way, instead of just constantly running, they ended up standing their ground. And just like the rabbit at the beginning of the movie, smoking the peace pipe, who wasn't afraid because he was smarter than the panther, I completely forgot about that until the end of the movie when he re-uttered that line, and it sort of tied the entire movie together, the whole theme of the film, and why he stayed so calm the whole time is because he knew he was smarter than the bear, and that if he stopped and thought about it, he could beat this thing. Human ingenuity, another great theme of the film, and human rationality can overcome despair and darkness in times of trouble. And it also tied in with the fact that his creed, once he was out there, was to not die of what most people died of in the wilderness: shame. Shame. He didn't allow that to happen. And I think in the end of the movie, his goodness also, and his determination, his strength, his moral courage to save the life of the man who tried to kill him, also allowed, I think, Alec Baldwin to genuinely be redeemed at the end of the film. Because he said sorry. He didn't have to. Maybe he did it out of fear, because he was on his deathbed, a fear of hell or whatever be it. But I don't know, to me it seemed like a genuine repentance right at the end, a deathbed repentance. And those are rare, true ones, I'd say. Most people probably do them out of fear, but the way the movie conveyed it, I got the feeling that Alec Baldwin genuinely meant what he said. And he didn't have to say what he said about the fact that the wife was not in on killing him. He didn't have to say that. That was a genuine gesture of goodwill at the end of the film. So I think Alec Baldwin was redeemed by Anthony Hopkins. Good character. I think Henry Perrineau's character never showed any malice or anything, so I think he didn't need redemption because he was a good man from the beginning. But Anthony Hopkins' character was also a good man. It was just buried inside, and it was all in theory, as he said. He never had the chance to put his goodness to action, and when he did, he thrived. And he overcame evil, which maybe was personified by the bear and Alec Baldwin. I don't know. I don't want to read too much into films when I don't know what the director felt or anything, but this is what I took from the movie. These thoughts, be them as jumbled as they are. So if you agree that it was a great movie, or if you disagree, please leave a comment. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video as far as you have, and forgive me for my rambling my rambling thoughts. I try not to script some of these ones just so I can get what I'm really thinking, just let it flow out of me. And sometimes it comes out as rambling nothingness and gibberish, but sometimes a coherent thought comes out. So I hope it did in this case. So yeah, as I said, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you are so inclined. Sorry to repeat myself. God bless you all, and I'll see you later.